everyone. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. Today is Tuesday, November 18th. We're calling our select board meeting for the town of Middlesex to order at 5:05 p.m. So if you are a guest here and you want to speak, just raise your hand and state your name. You don't have to speak, so we're not going to take down your names unless it's something that you want to say. And if you're not from Middlesex, just tell us your town. So the first thing that we're going to do is approve the minutes of the November 3rd regular select board meeting, which are here. That was just a regular Tuesday meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? We have it looks like we had everybody there. Is that possible? We had Stacy too?
Yep.
Wow, okay. So is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Make the motion.
Okay, Zara moves. Is there a second?
I would second.
Paul seconds. All those in favor of the moving the agenda, the minutes for November 3rd, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Next, we are going to approve the minutes of the special Colbert meeting of November 10th, of which only Paul, Zara, and I were there. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Paul moves. Is there a second? Okay, Zara seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. The November 10th special Colbert meeting minutes have been approved. And now we're approving the agenda for Tuesday, November 18th, and we do have an amendment to that agenda, which is to add Brenda to give us a little presentation on the health insurance options. We have a very limited window to be able to potentially change health insurance plans and providers. So we are going to be offering that with action possible. Is everyone okay with adding that to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so is there any other amendments to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda for November 18th with the amendment to the health insurance plan with action possible?
I make the motion.
Okay, Zara moves. Is there a second? Larry seconds. And all those in favor of the November 18th agenda with amendments, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, we are only 2 minutes behind schedule now for Misha Golfman, who's the director of the Mad River Path, who's going to update us on the progress of the proposed Mad River Valley Path. Now, Misha, when you sent me that presentation, I only got it just a few minutes ago and it's only on my phone. Is there something that you have? Oh, you have something?
If we can connect me to systems.
I think what you probably need to do is join the meeting. And you can do that by, yeah, I guess I can send, do you have the agenda on hand? Like, because the agenda has the Zoom link below. While he is getting that set up, I wonder if there's something else we can do. Let's see, Larry was going to tell me a little bit about the radon mitigation. Why don't we do that? Sure. We have time. Okay, so radon mitigation in the vault update. There is potentially action just based on the getting paint or something. So you got a quote for radon active soil depressurization at $1,600. I am getting a quote for a new heating system with a couple of options because the current furnace has some corrosion. The Energy Committee recommends that we still plan to insulate the foundation in the spring. This could allow us to install a heat pump or a hybrid heat pump propane unit. In the meantime, we will put a carbon monoxide detector in the boiler room to monitor for that. We could also do some calculations to determine if a heat pump would suffice given the insulation around the foundation and in the attic. Therefore, we would ideally wait to replace the furnace if it's still in good shape. Peak Mechanical said that it's in really good shape, other than the small area of corrosion. So I don't see why we would need to replace it. And I think so the question is, and actually I already approved it for him to go ahead, but I thought I'd just bring it to the board anyway. That we would pay the $1,600 to do this basically it's like taking the, radon and like sort of taking it out of the vault before it gets even in the air. And then it gets put out through like a pipe or something through a vent. There will be some, so that's 1,600, but there will be some electrical work around a fan system, which I can't imagine is much more than that.
That seems cheap.
It does seem cheap, doesn't it? But it's
Yeah.
a pretty basic thing that he's doing. He's basically drilling a hole in and putting up some, there was a picture that he sent.
Just some slab.
You need to find it, it was just a
Yeah.
red line.
Yeah, it's just like, this is where we go. It did seem cheap to me too, but it
Yeah.
was not, so it's not a ventilation system the way that we had
Right.
originally considered it. It's just literally like moving the radon out the window.
Don't hang out at the back of the building.
Right, so don't go smoking, having your cigarette break back there. So I mean, I suppose we should move that we approve the purchase of, what I guess I would say is the purchase of the radon mitigation system with an electric fan not to exceed 5,000. Is there a motion?
I'll
for
make that motion.
Okay, Zara moves, is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay, Paul seconds, so, moving forward with the mitigation not to exceed 5,000. Carol, okay. Okay, so now we're gonna okay, here he is, yep.
You just gonna vote too.
Oh, yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, we can cross that off our list. Yay. So let me just see about sharing, offering the multiple share. So you should be able to share. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that usually-
That's you.
No, I don't think so.
There you go.
No, I'm not sharing anything. He's sharing. Did you? Here it is. Okay. Is that you?
I think it's you.
It's me. Well, he has it in slideshow review, so he needs to set it up, but he has it in,
Maybe it's him.
yeah, it's him. Go to play from start. And then it should pop up. There we go. Okay.
Great,
Great.
so.
And then hit continue to share on that. And I think you need to mute yourself,
Oh.
like up on the
Um,
top.
I lost everything.
Like mute your computer.
Yep, that is muted, but not muted.
Okay, now try talking.
I'll try.
How's this now?
Yeah, I think that's good. Alrighty, thank you.
Great. Sorry for taking up time. This and we pass around, I have. We talked about it having the brochure form. And I also have a scoping study for you all, for Middlesex. Okay, so this is just gonna do a quick report on the Med River Valley active transportation corridor scoping study that was completed at the end of the summer. And wow, why am I not able to move this?
We can't see nothing. We're out.
You can't?
No, it's a Zoom. That's all that's on the screen.
I can see it.
Okay.
I don't know. Who is that?
That was Bill.
Price? Bill, I think
Yeah.
Carol, can you see the slideshow?
I can see it, yep.
Okay, so it is, I think it's on your end, Bill, if you can't see it.
It says MRV, Active Transportation Corridor,
No, I
scoping
saw it,
report.
but then all of a sudden it turned to a white screen.
Well, Carol can still see it, so I'm not sure. I think it might be something on your end.
Okay.
I will make sure that everybody can you guys see okay with that?
On the camera, they got me.
Okay, great. So for over 30 years, Med River Path Association has been working to connect Warren and Waitsfield primarily with an unbroken pedestrian and bike path. We have now opportunity to realize that vision and expand on that for today's and future generations. In summer of 24, with support from Warren, Waitsfield, Fayston, and at first just Moortown, and then later Middlesex, thank you all, we embarked on the active transportation corridor scoping study. The purpose of the scoping study is to connect Warren, Waitsfield, Moortown, and Middlesex with a 10-foot wide bidirectional off-road path, creating backbone for sustainable economic and community development, increase alternatives to vehicle transportation between villages, schools, services, and businesses, connect fragmented recreational sites and statewide corridors, provide safe off-road routes for greater mobility opportunities for vulnerable groups. And this study had an engineering component to it, and then the study had a public engagement component. In the public engagement, we held 3 public meetings. They were really well attended. Each had over 100 people in attendance. And there was a lot of public input going into this. In the end of the study, we determined that, number one, it's possible, physically possible, to connect the 5 towns by an active transportation corridor. Number 2, it's desirable. That's what vast majority of participants, the great vast majority of Medway Valley residents want for this to happen. And how did it come all the way to Middlesex? Through public participation, because at first we were saying we're going to go to Hooper Lane and we were going to connect to Cross Vermont Trail. So we'd have connectivity. The Medway Path would connect to Cross Vermont Trail, and this is where we're going to stop. And people said, wait, this is not a good place to stop. You don't have anywhere to park, you don't have anywhere to eat, you don't have bathrooms. And why don't you come all the way to Middlesex, go to Red Hen Bakery, Camp Mead? That's a logical northern terminus. That's how it happened. So it was really awesome. We had no idea about this, and now we do. So the maps are going to be impossible. I realize in this size, it's going to be impossible for you to see. In the scoping report, in the big thick scoping report, all of this is there. All of this is also on our website. So I apologize that this is not going to be very useful. We divided the work in 4 segments: Warren Village to Munfield in Waitsfield, Munfield to Waitsfield Village. And if you can't see anything at all, you see this yellow and blue. So blue is a completed Medway path. So in Warren and Waitsfield, we have a lot of assets that are there and just need to be improved, in the short sections that need to be completed. Hence implementation, there's a lot less to do to connect Warren and Waitsfield in comparison to connecting Waitsfield with Moortown and Moortown with Middlesex. However, we have great opportunities between Waitsfield Village and Moortown, and you could see on the map, if you can't see that at all, we have in existence the West Greenway and Spalding Greenway. And if we were to connect the two, all of a sudden we'll have a lot of great path going towards Moortown. We identified Pony Farm Road to North Road to East Warren Road as an alternative route, where the temporary permit, hard to say, but there's alternative off Route 100 route for at least part of it. And then segment 4 is Moortown to Middlesex Village. This is where this is how far the study have gone. It said, yeah, this is actually a great section because there are a lot of people are biking it already from Stevens Brook Road to Middlesex Village. We have very wide shoulders. There's a lot of opportunities here for shifting the roadway to one side. And we don't even need to acquire any more right of way or do anything. We could simply take part of that road to footpath and separate it from the road. So this is where the study stopped. And it said, we don't have enough time. This is just too much to figure out. You need to do a separate study to go from Moortown Village to Middlesex to determine exactly how to go this. So this was a kind of a conclusion. So the scoping study has been approved by Agency of Transportation. Both Warren and Waitsfield have endorsed the implementation within their towns. And now what I'm what I want to tell you, other than just to kind of quickly go over it, I want to talk to you about this section that we have between Hooper Lane, where Cross Vermont Trail crosses the Med River, and Middlesex Village, because this could be, if you are interested, this actually could be a great gateway to implementation from the north, because what I learned recently, and I'm constantly learning, I just had a big meeting with V-Trans, and they said, look, you're gonna be applying for one thing at a time. It's gonna take, you're gonna run out of your lifetime to do this. Instead, in every grant application cycle, there should be an application from Warren, from Waitsfield, from Moretown, Middlesex. Then you're gonna start getting traction. So I spoke to Cross Vermont Trail, they very much would like to see this happen. And this could be how we get traction on the northern end. What will this require? And I'm not asking you today to make any decision, I'm just giving you information so you can take time. And it would require what I see as 4 steps. Step number 1, we would need to apply for more scoping funds and focus on Moretown Village to Middlesex, because what the engineers need to tell us how to do this. The V-Trans isn't gonna listen to just us. This would require 20% local match. We approximated about $8,000 per municipality, so that Middlesex will need to approve that match in order for us to apply for scoping funds. You have plenty of time to deliberate this, because those grant applications have June and November deadlines. So we passed November and we have a ways to go before June. Step 2, we will complete the scoping study. It takes about a year. So I'm approximating, if we apply in June 26, this is not that much compared to the rest. We already determined most of this. We already know that we want the path. We know where we want the path. So by June 27, we could have that done. Step 3, on behalf of municipalities, on behalf of Moretown and Middlesex, Med-River Path Association, together with the Cross Vermont Trail, will apply for design and construction funding for the first section between Hooper Lane and Middlesex Village. Could happen, if all goes good, could happen in June 27th. Step 4, for you, concurrently, Middlesex will need to make a plan for the sidewalk to extend to the intersection of Route 2 and 100B, because of course, any grant for construction from V-Trans has to have an independent utility. They're gonna say, what are you connecting to and from? So it needs to be, we're gonna connect Cross Vermont Trail to Middlesex Village, where it's not gonna just end, but connect to something. So it could be a great impetus for your, if that's what in your town plan, if that's what you want to see happen, we could work together on this. This is my invitation to all of you to work together, and thank you for giving me time in the busy schedule.
Have you been in touch with our planning commission with Sandy Levine?
Not yet.
She's here.
This just came to
Oh,
fruition
okay,
like
gotcha.
this afternoon.
Okay.
I think the idea.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
I will definitely get in touch
Yeah.
with Sandy.
Okay.
Cause they have talked about sidewalks in Middlesex.
Yep. All right. Well, we are kind of behind schedule, so I appreciate your coming and giving us this update. And is this for us to keep?
Yeah, that's for you to keep.
Okay, great.
And I have Med-River Path annual reports available for everybody, maybe
perfect.
not for everybody in the room, if you pass them around. Thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome.
time.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and invite me if you'd like to
Okay,
talk about this more.
sure. Yes, we definitely will. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so now we are at the highway department. Would it help you, Jeff, if you went first before the highway department?
Yeah, go right
If you could
ahead.
Be quick, sure.
So, minor correction, last month we were at 56 calls. Now we're up to 62. We had 6 during this period, no mutual aid in and out. Max 6, min 2, for an average of 4. Considering the low number, I'm still happy with 4 average showing up. We had smoke in the area of Shady Rill. Nothing was found, no surprise there. We had a 3-car accident up on the interstate. That was on southbound Center Road. There was a car in a ditch, nobody was found. East Hill had a power pole on fire. And in 89, there was a crash detection found that got sent out to the alerting agencies and nothing was found. And then, on the 14th, we had truck versus building. A building jumped out. My numbers for the fast squad calls may be a little off because I had a factory reset my phone, so I lost all my data. So, it looks like we had 8 total for the period and 5 medical onlys. Training was personnel accountability. What the district is doing is aligning with NFPA on what color our tags are and how personnel accountability is seen is done. So we went over, we had 3 folks go to the training with the district, and then we had the training the next night at the station. Repairs, nothing yet. Purchases, nothing. So a note here, some community outreach. We had the Central Vermont Amateur Radio Club come in and build antennas. And we had 15 cadets from Norwich, plus about 10 members from the group. And we're planning to have them back next month to do another continuation on antenna building. So it's neat to see them. I'm part of that club. It's neat to see them, see it growing, getting younger kids involved, something other than cell phone. And, just to, one thing is we have a new member on the fire department. He's in EMT training right now, which is on Tuesdays and Saturdays, so he's not able to come to our meetings and stuff, but his training ends in January, then he'll be able to come in. He lives right on Brook Road, so he's close. And then, next month will probably be my last month here.
What's happening?
I am not gonna be president anymore.
Are you moving?
Nope, I'm not moving. I'm planning to try to step down from all the offices I have. 21 years of doing this is, I'll still be on the department.
You deserve retirement, for goodness sake.
Well, I'll stay on the department and I'll be here, but I'm not gonna be here.
Okay,
Because with the grandchild, we're traveling a lot more and so.
okay.
Congratulations.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
Yeah.
So we'll be representing you there.
Yeah.
So we'll be representing the fire department.
Well, my hope is the person that I was training and that has been here, but he's working tonight. Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan, yeah.
So, but it's up to the election.
Does he know I'm hoping he's gonna be emergency management coordinator too?
Well, so we're hoping, but he's brand new EMT, so he's got that on his plate, and he
Yeah.
said he'd be interested in taking president, so we'll see if that comes, if the members elect him. I won't be running. So
Great.
that way.
Well, good for you. Well, thank you for that update. Any questions for Jeff in the fire department? All righty. Thank you for coming.
Sure.
Okay, so we are now on to, we've already gone 5:40 and 5:50. I'm so excited. We are now on to the highway report and FEMA roadwork update with Eric and Zara, update on design and permitting process for Old Brook Road, update on FEMA payments, and the update, which I will give on the outcomes. Well, and Paul, you can probably help me too, for the November 10th Dirt Tech meeting. And then I had a follow-up conversation with ANR as well that I just wanted to update folks on. It says action possible. I'm not sure what that action is, but just in case we needed to make some action.
I always like action. So, as far as equipment's concerned, we had, some repairs done on the International Freightliner, this past couple weeks. We started plowing, so that's moving forward, and Old Brook Road this week, we're gonna be putting the barricades up and widening that section of road.
So the barricades are to, as a, just a, safety thing?
Yeah.
And will allow people to drive on it? Like the trucks, the fuel trucks and stuff? will they-
Yeah, it's gonna do a barrier so they can go into the hole.
Okay.
So does that mean we shouldn't be reaching out to V-Trans regarding the 10th bridge?
I don't see how that is about.
I heard that as well.
Was there a second plan, a backup plan submitted to A&R like discussed in the last meeting?
I'm not sure we had to, I don't know if you wanted to touch base on this.
Sure, I don't know that we're there quite yet, but we're starting from scratch. So we should have their, the RFPs for that on Friday. So. That's
No.
per A and R's request.
Sarah, I'm sorry, I had a hard time understanding that part of the conversation. Can you guys repeat that piece?
Sure, per ANR's request, we have done RFPs for new engineers. And we should be getting those quotes on Friday of this week.
The deadline is set for Friday.
Great.
Oh, so you did the RFP and you put it out, okay,
Yep.
good, yeah.
That was per your request. In terms of an update on FEMA payments. The government's just barely open, but they were having trouble with, I guess, all websites and stuff are down today. But we had our FEMA meeting. We're almost at closeout for the 2024 stuff. We've still got that $3 million pending, and as soon as things start moving, hopefully we will get that last bit of money. But as you know, or maybe don't know, in the meantime, the head of FEMA has quit. The conversation with our FEMA rep was kind of like, it's always fun when the head rats are jumping ship. It's never a good sign, but at least we're just down to 3 million that they owe us.
When you should be crying, we're laughing.
Yeah, what else can you do? Keep
Um,
pushing.
Okay, and, okay, so now, so on November 10th, that was the Monday meeting, right, Paul?
Correct.
Yeah, November 10th, we had a meeting here, it was a warned public meeting, and, we had 3 folks from Dirt Tech, the owner, the, project manager, and then like probably the lead crew guy or something that works with the team, attended the meeting. Paul had graciously put together the sort of findings that we had discussed with A&R at the previous meeting in October, and kind of laid out, where we understood repairs needed to happen that are within, primarily our biggest concern is the jurisdictional issues with the Agency of Natural Resources. A lot of that was around for a lot of the culverts, aquatic organism passage, and having to do some work, some replacement stonework around some of the culverts so that the aquatic organisms can pass through safely and effectively. There was also some issues around stone used around the wing walls and how that was done. And so so we had this meeting with Dirt Tech. Dirt Tech was eager to sort of dive in and start making these repairs. But we did ask them to first meet with A&R before they just went in and started making these changes, because we wanted to make sure that A&R, that we're very clear about exactly what needs to get done in order for these culverts to pass inspection, I guess is what you'd say. And no longer have these deficiencies. So we reached out to A&R, and they basically said, well, hold off on doing anything. We're not even gonna make a meeting with you just yet, because we first want to basically present to you officially our findings through their legal department. And so what that means is that the town is going to be receiving shortly. I sort of thought we'd start getting it this week, but I haven't seen anything yet. I think it would be mailed to the town, is my guess. a report that, shows us out of compliance as a town on our culverts. And it will give us a list of the things that we need, either a separate document, will give us a list of exactly what we need to do to make these corrections in order to come out of compliance. I'll be honest and say that sort of before I heard this, I was feeling somewhat defensive and felt like I wasn't getting the information from A&R, and I was, really feeling like, my gosh, what have we done that's so wrong, right? Like, I don't understand why there's this sort of sudden, like, don't do anything yet because we're in trouble. I mean, that's how it felt, like we're in big trouble, which is true. I don't want to underestimate that. There are problems that we do need to rectify and address. That being said, I had a conversation with Jaren, who explained to me, and this made sense to me, and I feel like it's, I can understand the gravity of the situation, based on what Jaren said, which is that, Vermont is a recipient of, and has been since Irene in particular, the recipient of billions of dollars in FEMA funds. The reason we get those funds is because we have state standards that we follow in order to get these funds. So when FEMA is approving these, they're making the assumption, because we have an agreement with FEMA to follow these state standards. And if these state standards have not been followed, then we are breaking that agreement with FEMA, and that risks not just Middlesex getting money, but the entire state of Vermont getting money in the future. So it's imperative that we deal with these problems and make these fixes, and we're anxious to do it. Dirt Tech is anxious to do it. So I don't believe there's a concern that like someone's not gonna do this work or hold themselves accountable to do the corrections that need to happen. And we're not talking massive things that need to change. We really are talking about sort of this, one of the bigger problems is a wetland issue that is going to require us, and that's gonna be a part of the finding, that we need to, do X, Y, and Z with the Wetlands Department of the state in order to rectify and rebuild a wetland is what we're gonna have to do over on South Bear Swamp Road. But I feel, yes, I mean, I feel like we can do this, right? Like I'm not worried that we're not gonna be able to do this. I wish this hadn't happened and that everything had been done perfectly according to, the plans and the designs and the rock sizes. But they weren't, and so now we are in the mode of action, and how do we get this problem solved? Because of this problem, Dorinda, is the reason why right now, not just this problem, but there's some problems with future drawings as well. We have been told by A&R they're not going to approve the next 7 permits that we applied for, of which the most important are Old Brook Road and Daniels Farm Road in terms of their severity, right? Was that when the need to get them done? The other ones can, have more time to wait, these other culverts that are, wouldn't probably be done until the spring anyway. But our hope was that we had gotten Daniels Farm and Old Brook Road done before the winter, and as you know, that's not happening right this minute. That being said, I do know that they know that those are 2 priorities, which is why I asked Eric to pull together an RFP. We have got a list of engineers that we're going to reach out to say, here's an RFP. Oh, you did already? Yep, so all that was done. So we hope to get someone who can, do the work that needs to get done on Old Brook Road and also on Daniels Farm Road. And then also for the future, those 5 other, or 6, I think, other, is it 6? 7 is not including Old Brook Road, right?
It is.
Oh, it is, okay, so 7, so the next 5. And so, that's what we're doing, and we're trying to move as quickly as possible. A&R understands, I felt like I had a really good conversation with them, with Jaren. And understanding where they're coming from, and they also understand that we, I made a point, and he said, we're not the only town to have this same exact problem, which is that we had a $10 million problem and we didn't have the expertise to oversee that problem, right? A road foreman is not responsible for overseeing a $10 million construction project. They're just not, but that's what ended up happening. And so and I, as a select board chair, I know nothing about roads. So I could stand there and pretend that I was in charge, but that doesn't work. What we really needed, and we learned this from, now this is Monday morning quarterbacking, but if we were to have a future disaster where we were talking about $10 million worth of damages, we would hire a project manager, a full-time project manager to oversee this operations, to make sure that, because there's not one person. We're not pointing fingers at Dirt Tech. We're not pointing fingers at the town of Middlesex. We're not pointing fingers at A&R. All of us had a piece in how this could have been done better. And A&R understands that. And, I think, there's a lot of sort of lessons learned. And so while this is not the best case scenario for us to be in, and it's not good news, there is a path forward. And I'm confident that with our competent board that we have, and with some, abilities to, move forward with A&R, we'll be able to get this stuff done. It just isn't gonna be done on the timeframe that we had hoped for. And I wish I had better news about that, but at any rate, so that's my spiel about what happened. And Carol, a lot of this is, you don't need to, there's minutes on the board, on the culvert meetings and things like that already. So just, you can very much highlight that. Are there any questions about that? Yes, Teresa.
This is a budget question.
I'm sure. I probably don't have answers for because I'm not the project.
No, but do we budget? Should we be putting, is it gonna affect current year budget or should we be budgeting something?
That's a good question. So, I even wondered, should we be budgeting, we're gonna be, so for example, we are probably going to be needing to budget legal fees for this, for sure. I asked our lawyer already, I'm like, the worst case scenario is that, something gets litigated down the road, right? That probably wouldn't be in next year, would be my guess. But and Rob Helper wouldn't even be the one to do that, right? But we're hoping we don't have to do any litigation in that. All parties sort of understand what we're mutually responsible for, in these steps forward. There are some sort of things that are gonna cost us money that we don't know what they are, but I said to Rob, how much would you budget? I'm like, 100,000? He's like, maybe 50,000, which is a lot of money. That's for legal fees, yeah, but that could be, I'm thinking that would be our entire year's legal fees. But I'm already on the phone with him a lot about this. And we're gonna be getting bills from him. So, so that, would be, I would just say plug it in, right? Plug in legal fees for this. There are gonna be extra costs for us for things like guardrails and things that I don't think they're FEMA reimbursable anymore because we already.
We didn't do the.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't have a guardrail,
Well,
standard.
there's items that we felt from a non-jurisdictional standpoint that we felt for the traveling public of residents, folks who travel the roads, that in everyone's best interest, that we ought to do these safety measures and improvements after, that should highlight after the repairs have been made.
But even things like these concrete slab things that you're putting out, those cost money. Those aren't free, right? So, and those were never budgeted, right? So those are things that like, we're gonna be doing that also on South Bear Swamp. We'll put some of those up there or not? Will they fit there?
I don't think we were planning on.
We weren't planning on putting them there, just on Natra? That's,
Beach Road and.
Okay.
Center.
but those would eventually get placed by guardrails.
Correct.
And so those would be things that, yes, I would put them in your budget, right? And, so the short answer is yes. What other questions do you?
Well, that was it. I mean, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
come up with,
And that would be in the road budget, but I think the legal budget, I think to be on the safe side, we should put in a big chunk, and if we don't use it, thank God, we do have it in our budget. And we can explain, I mean, this is, there are no secrets, right? I mean, this is just, it is what we're dealing with right now.
It's very preliminary, I think is what's
Yes.
important to highlight, because even the permitting during that, we just learned about that last week, that they would be looking forward until if these repairs were made and they went through their process. We just learned about that, which to us was really a gust of
It's
wind
kind of a
out of
blow,
our sails. Like, we really saw things this week being very different than what they do look like now.
and that was kind of, you know, and I appreciate you giving all the details, because as a person that lives on that road, I feel the can, you know, we were kicking the can down the road at every select board meeting, and it was getting frustrating.
Yeah, and that was more about just the design that was being put out there was not meeting the needs of A&R. And then it kind of came to a head where it was requested that we just get a new design. And so that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Liz,
So we're gonna, you know, this is gonna be on our agenda probably every week in perpetuity until we solve these, you know, until we figure this out. But, you know, we are, you know, it's really helpful to have, Paul and Eric be able to interpret some of this stuff, you know, that like, I can't, you know, I don't know what any of this means. And I do believe that, you know, A&R wants to work with us. They want to make this right? They're here to support us. But it's just gonna take, it's gonna take time, and now with winter, I'm not sure how much we'll be able to accomplish. I don't know what can be done during.
Well, us and Dirt Tech were ready to jump right
Right.
on it. And what we quickly figured out is that's just not going to happen. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
So we really appreciated Dirt Tech. They were willing to move that day, like literally that day. It was a collaborative meeting. It was productive. But once we learned kind of where A&R was with everything, we're like, this is probably not being resolved right off, which again was a bummer in many different ways.
And I mean, they do know the gravity of the Old Brook Road, right? And so I feel like if we can get some drawings in, that maybe we can move quicker than, and I don't know if that kind of work can be done in the winter, can it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we may be able to move quicker on that. And if we were to prioritize, it would probably be Old Brook Road then Daniels,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Definitely.
And then, you know, have whoever is chosen for the RFP to work on the other ones later.
Liz, can I say something?
Yeah, I'm sorry, who is that?
Bill Price.
Yes,
Go.
go ahead, Bill.
Two things. One, when normal projects go through federal, as in construction, they will acquire a inspection engineer so that it's his job to certify the items are the correct items and the correct quantities are used in location. So that didn't happen. So that's one that we missed. Number two, that's just the learning curve. And to acquire federal funds, we're learning all the steps it takes to get the right process done. And
Right. Yes,
other
thank you
half
for
of-
that comment. And you know, I did say to A&R, you know, for the future, it would be really sort of handy if we kind of knew, you know, what, like, before we move on to even getting FEMA approval for something, having A&R go in and approve it first would have made sense, as opposed to, you know, 4 months later, oh, look at all your culverts have a
Have
problem.
you looked
right?
at, have you looked at the layout that was given to you? That I gave you?
Yes. I
It's
did
in
see
there.
that. Yes, thank
It
you
is
for
in there,
that.
because that is what has been missed during the whole development of the project. That they normally are always there because you need them to approve. And if your gentleman or whoever you speak to, I would go and ask what he needs, some of the blueprints and stuff, and help them so that that would advance their looking for parts and plans to speed the process along.
Yes, thank you for that. And that's, you know, one of the reasons why we also told Dirt Tech not to jump in without first talking to A&R, because we really want to make sure that the people above have given us the blessing of exactly what needs to get done, so that we're not doing this again. So thank you for that, Bill. Yes, Larry.
Will there be any other cost besides the attorney's fees to the town? Anything else we should?
There could be, yep, but we don't know yet. So we're waiting to get this, there could be some fines. We're waiting to get, this package from A&R, so we don't have that official package yet from their legal team. And I plan to pass that along to Rob Halpert, to have him, review it, so he knows that's coming. And so, yes, there could be, we just don't know yet.
Okay, thank you.
You know, I'd like to say, let's just throw in $100,000 for all kinds of things, but. You know, I can ask them too, right? Like, I can say, like, we're budgeting, what do you think? You know, we may need to be thinking about in terms of costs.
Is there any possibility that we're gonna just work this out and there won't be costs legally?
There's
That's
there's
fine.
probably gonna be costs with rebuilding the wetland that is, and I'm not
Right, but I
sure.
mean legally, like,
Besides Rob, and no, Rob's gonna need to be involved. Our lawyer is gonna need to be involved beyond the normal law stuff that he does for us.
When it comes to wetlands, the short answer is not likely that it'll just be a, hey, try harder next time.
no, yes, and I know that with wetlands, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying that this is, you know, a worst case scenario, but we could have maybe hopefully that's gonna.
Right, I mean, the other scenario is that, Dirt Tech says, no, this actually isn't something we're gonna pay for. You're gonna have to find out how to cover the cost yourself, and we may say, no, we really believe this is a Dirt Tech problem.
At this point,
No,
it's.
that's not,
it's
it's all
speculative.
speculative, right,
Yeah.
and so, yes, like, we would, and I know Dirt Tech would as well, really like to avoid litigation, it's much cheaper for everybody, right? And so, and it's not like we're asking Dirt Tech to, oh, the other thing too, just so you know, I did get an answer about the, what's the thing called, a wall?
Wing wall.
No, that thing below. The cutoff wall. And I said, are you really expecting Dirt Tech to dig up the cutoff wall to show that it's there? And his answer was, if they can show that the culvert works properly, then no. And because I said, we have it on our inventory list, we paid for it. We have evidence of at least some of them being seen, being put in. And it would really, because, and I want to reiterate that Jaren said, you know, we want this to be as cost efficient for the town as well, right? Like, there will be some opportunities for us to make choices as well for like cost effective savings. And the other thing too, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, but there was also this discussion that now that we have rain, some of this may have settled itself, right? And that we may not actually have to do as much as we thought we needed to do, because the water has already moved through and there's the fines that have settled in, and now the culvert may be working properly. Whereas when they reviewed these culverts, there was no indication, or there was already indication that they weren't working properly or that they wouldn't work properly. But now it appears that some of them may be working properly. So again, some of this may actually make sense to revisit in the spring anyway, because we'll have a better sense of the actual water flow and what needs to get done. So I think that's it that I have to say on
The
that.
good news is culverts and structures that are in are the correct size. They
Yes.
don't need to be dug up. They don't need to be moved.
Yes,
We won't be having giant projects re-happening at these sites.
right.
So
The other good news is it doesn't affect the FEMA repayments, as they did not
definitely.
indicate the size of the stones.
Okay, great.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Michelle Johnson.
Michelle Johnson is asking a question, Carol.
With regards to the players involved in A&R, where's the accountability of A&R in this process? With regards to the work being completed and them inspecting them, I know that gentleman on the TV had indicated something to that effect, so I'm curious as to where they are in this process of that accountability.
That's a
And,
good
like,
question,
where the
Michelle.
Meetings or,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
There's a lot going on in the state, and if there are other towns that are experiencing this, I wanna know the safeguards put in place for the town in general of that being done instead of, I mean, there's just so much work in the last 3 years the town has done.
right. That's a good question, and I
just wanna know
don't,
where they lie.
Yes. yeah, and I wanna know that too, and I think that's actually a question for our lawyer to review when he's looking at this. Because there's going to be a list of things that they're going to have said were not done, or, and, you know, this is also for, you know, Dirt Tech to consider, because Dirt Tech and the town, you know, we're in contact with it. It's not like A&R, we never had a conversation with them, right? Like, there were a lot of conversations that happened with A&R and AOT for the hydraulic studies and all of that. So, yes, I don't know the answer, but that is, like a question I have as well. Cause I don't understand. I don't know enough to be able to say where they may have dropped the proverbial ball. So, okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so now we are at, we're right on time, reviewing the budgets. So, does anybody in the lobby know? Did anyone receive, oh, Mitch is here. I first would like to, because we have guests here, for the health insurance, I'd like to have Brenda just give a little presentation on the health insurance for the budgets. So Mitch, if you don't mind just waiting a few minutes.
No rush.
Okay, thanks.
Might know this.
Oh, yeah, okay, so I guess I could plug this in. I know. Oh,
Sorry.
I can barely move my arm. Oh. And I know it's terrible. It should have gotten so much better now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to forget that.
Or what drive was that? During healthcare. Yep. Yes, okay. All right, so let me just bring this up on the Zoom. I'm gonna share my screen. Carol, do you see this, the 2026 healthcare plans? Okay.
Okay. So, we're reviewing our current plans with what we might get in the future. Because there are people in the town include, that believe, half by the water cooler is, that we're glad that we work for a town that pays for our premiums, but our current deductibles are too high. and they really do prevent us from seeking care. And so that's pretty much the gist of, why we're doing all this. The neighboring towns that we've talked to offer better plans. And an aggregate plan is not beneficial for employees that need coverage from more than one person. And what the difference between a stacked and an aggregate plan is, and we can get to that. And what I've heard also by the water cooler is that the town cares about us, and that's why we're here, and that's why you're listening, and you squeeze us in and you're giving us time. So we appreciate that. You also need to be fiscally responsible, and you need to keep your employees there, and that you're open to comparing the plans. So what we're going to look at and compare are 4 different healthcare plans, 2 with Blue Cross Blue Shield, 2 with MVP. We're going to throw out their prices for covering eye care and dental coverage, and also what flexibility we have in our HSA. Everybody know what HSA is?
Health savings account.
Okay. So of those things, the deductible, medical and pharmacy, 2 different cost categories, are rates, which are also called premiums, that the town pays for, so that's pretty important to the town. Aggregate versus stacked, which I mentioned, and then out-of-pocket maximums, because as you know, as the beneficiary of the plan, what my out-of-pocket maximum is what really matters to me more than all the 8,000 numbers I'm going to show you here in a second. So the first plan, Blue Cross Blue Shield Vermont, this is what we currently have. Our medical deductible is $6,000. If you have more than one person on your plan, it's $12,000. So there are 4 employees in Middlesex that have single plus 1, and there are 2 that have single. So what that means is with an aggregate plan is that the first person has to meet all $12,000. It's not like one person meets 6,000 in one piece. So it's almost like if I happen to be the one to get sick first, I have a $12,000 deductible. The pharmacy out-of-pocket max is $1,700. So if I have been healthy and I haven't had to go to the doctor, but I have medications that I take on a regular basis, I have to pay that $1,700 first, or $3,400. So even if I'm totally healthy, but happen to need medication, I've got to start by paying $3,400. Those are our rates. It's so many numbers. And you can take these home and look at it. But I just took the cost, which was your rate, times 2 people, and you get $1,928. You take the cost of single plus 1. There are 4 people in Middlesex that have that. So you take that by 12, because that's what we're talking about is a year. So you take that by 12, you add the 2 numbers together. That's what Blue Cross Blue Shield Vermont Select Silver is.
The cost per month, is that the premium to the town?
No.
Okay, I just want to clarify what that's the deductible.
No.
No.
That is the rate, which is AKA premium. So that's what, the town has more costs than that because you also contribute to our HSA. So just premiums alone.
What do the people pay for their health insurance?
We're getting there. We'll get there. And I want to thank everybody that's here. We have 100% turnout tonight for this. So it is something that obviously people really care about, and I appreciate you all being here very much. Okay, next slide. The next option is MVP, which...
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm still confused though.
Yep, sorry.
What are we paying and what are you paying?
Yeah, what are we paying and what are you paying out of that 964, or is that only what the town is paying?
That's only town.
Okay, so really what we want to see is how much does it cost?
Yes.
And you have that on another
Yes.
slide for Blue Cross.
So, but you're saying if you're a single person, you have a $6,000 deductible. So if you get sick, you have to pay $6,000. Or if you get sick with single plus 1, you have to pay $12,000.
Right.
Same with pharmacy.
The family.
So the first 2 are what's out of pocket for our employees.
Yes.
Thank you.
Plus whatever their monthly comes out of their paycheck.
Nothing comes out of our paycheck. It is 100% sponsored by the town.
That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Is 100%, okay, that's a really good benefit, I just want everyone to.
That was first on my list.
Okay.
We appreciate the
Okay.
fact that the town
Gotcha,
pays
okay.
our fees. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, that answered my question. The people are not paying a monthly premium that is out of their paycheck.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
We only pay if,
Yeah, they only pay when they have a medical bill and they pay the first 6 or up to 12, depending on the situation.
correct.
Gotcha.
Okay, so, and the rest of the next 3 slides are very similar to the first. It's just, this is a different, MVP is a different company. It's not Blue Cross Blue Shield. They offer health insurance to small groups. And so, as you can see, the deductibles, the medical,
Similar.
very similar. If you multiply it out by the number of people times the number of months, there is an $11,000 difference,
Savings.
right? When you talk about the whole town for the whole year. Okay, the next slide is if we go up,
Wait,
One-
I have another thing.
yes,
Back to this slide here.
yes,
Don't we also give people $2,500?
we're getting to that on another slide. There are so many numbers, Liz.
I just wanted to make sure that.
It will all, yes, I
Okay.
have tried to think about a lot of different,
Okay.
I'm not saying that I did,
Okay.
but I did think of that one. So if you go one level higher than our current plan, you can see that the deductibles drop dramatically. The pharmacy is about the same, the rates go up. And of course, that makes sense, right? The town is gonna pay more for the employees to pay less. So this one level higher is 142. And the next slide is MVP, one level higher than what we have now. Reflective gold MVP, very similar. Okay, moving on. All right, next slide.
Wait, hold on.
Yes,
So I think
that's
what Liz
still-
wants to see is that is $1,300 more than our current provider, but cuts your out-of-pocket expenses, at least for the deductible, in half.
Close to half.
correct. And it just also happens to be, it's not that way always, but in these plans that I'm comparing, our out-of-pocket max is equal to our deductible.
What does that mean?
It means when I'm thinking about how much, even if something catastrophic happens to me, what's the most that I'm gonna have to pay? And in this case, the deductible and the out-of-pocket max are the exact same.
Great, so you will never have to pay more than $3,200 or $64, depending on your plan, at least for the deductible medical. not the
No.
pharmacy.
Well, as a single person, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
Okay.
okay.
But the difference between MVP Gold and Blue Cross Gold is 142 versus 128, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And we're currently paying what, 115?
115.
Okay, gotcha.
115. So,
Plus the money that we're putting in.
Difference.
right. So in talking to other towns, there seems to be, the feeling is that MVP has gotten better over the years. So I had always heard of it as a second rate kind of, who had very limited provider choices. If you need anything, then preventive care, it gets very expensive and they're very limited. So that's changing, but it is, a plan that we don't know as well, and we would have to, kind of look into it more if that's the way we're gonna lean.
Well, for reference, the whole UVM medical network did just switch over to MVP.
So,
Because of, I think a lot of it's concerns about Blue Cross Blue
Yeah, I'm not
Shield.
sure
Yeah.
that they're gonna be in business much longer,
Yeah,
from what I.
so the whole UVM network has switched
Yeah.
over.
I did hear that. Good point, very good point. Okay, so here's what you were talking about with the HSA coverage. And I do have, I think this is 1850, and I had I just remembered my number wrong. So, but for today, for the next 10 minutes, we're gonna go with 1900. Because $50 in the big scheme of thing isn't gonna matter anyway. So, the HSA totals 13,200. So that's in addition to what you already pay for premiums, okay? You pay for all, the town pays for all of that. Next slide. So that out of the, I have single plus one. So if I were to have something that costs $12,000, I have the HSA that I can subtract from that. All right, so here are my deductibles. And it's basically everything that we were just talking about, a $6,000 deductible times 2 people, 12,000 deductible times 4. This is what the employees are paying for a deductible. And I grouped it, I decided to compare everything as a group. What the town pays for health insurance for everybody, what everybody gets for our out-of-pocket max, what everybody's getting for deductibles. I didn't just group out, you know, the difference. So $60,000, $59,500, almost the same thing. Blue Cross Blue Shield Gold is $32,000. So you can see there's a huge difference there in what the employees would have to out-of-pocket max. Okay, and you have any questions?
No.
Yes.
Brenda, I'm just curious how this compares to other towns.
Yeah, so we did call and talk to 2 other towns, and I chose not to focus on that one because I already had 12 slides in 10 minutes. And 2, I've kind of always been taught to not to worry about what Sandy's doing over in the next room. Like, I need to worry about my town, our employees, our select board. So like what they do and what they can afford and what they offer isn't as relevant to me. If somebody would like that comparison, I have, you know, just in notebook form, but I have the numbers and could provide them, but I chose not to put them in today. Okay, drum roll. Here's where the good stuff happens. Comparing the plans. So here's where we really start to compare our apples, right? These are the rates, which we saw on the first slide, then our HSA contribution. So if you add these 2 together, this is what you're gonna get for the total cost to the town. Then you have your deductibles for all of us and the out-of-pocket max for employees. So basically you take the deductible minus the HSA and you get the out-of-pocket for the employee. EEO, yeah, see down here, I went in my room. So EE is employee, ER is for employer, if you see that. I had to do a little shorthand there. Okay, so.
Scroll.
It's a little hard to see this. So when I look at the numbers, I was trying to figure out if we go with a more expensive plan, is that better for the employee? Or is it better to go with a less expensive plan and have more contribution from the town for an HSA? There are limits. The federal government sets on how much the town can contribute to an HSA. Nothing that I have listed here exceeds that. We are on the cusp when you get up here to the 48,000, but we're under it. And so that's what this really compares. Now, if you're looking at you know, 48,047, almost the same thing. Now you get down to 25.6 for a proposed FHA. So you're at 13.2. So you're doubling that. And then here,
What do you mean we're doubling it?
your HSA right now is 13.20.
Right, and where's, doubling it
So the
down there.
proposal is to.
Okay, so how
double
I got,
What we've,
not
oh,
necessarily.
okay.
In this scenario it is, but what these numbers mean here are that what I'm proposing is that the town pay 100% of the deductible for the employee. And if the employee has a +1, they pay for half of the +1. So in this case, we have two people that are on the single, so you would pay 100% of their deductible. Then 100% of the employee and 50% of their +1 is $9,000. So that times 4 people. So the total proposed HSA is 48,000. So there's flexibility. You can say, oh, we're not paying, you know, we'll go ahead and pick up the HSA for you and your +1. Or you may say, we're not doing anything for the +1, we're only doing employees. So, but there's so much room to play with these numbers. But I think just putting them all in one place. So the total cost to the town of Middlesex is here, which is adding the rates plus the proposed HSA, you get the total cost to the town.
Can you say that figure, Brenda? Because I don't know where you're pointing to. What is the
Yes,
total cost to the town?
The total cost to the town is different for the 4 different plans. It ranges anywhere from 163,632 for what we have. And if we go up to MVP Gold, it's actually less expensive, 154,432. And the reason is that you pay more in premiums, as you can see, but you're paying less in HSA reimbursement. So we get the best deal here as far as out-of-pocket max. The town only has to pay, what's the top number? I
It was
guess
115 plus the
115,632.
plus the rest of the.
plus, yeah, so let me turn. So the total cost to the town is 128,800. So let's just say it's 129. You go from 129 to 54.
Right.
So $35,000 for the year for all your employees. Right, and we get better coverage, lower out of pocket every time we go to the doctor. And
All your employees plus.
4 of us that have a +1.
Right.
Plus half of them. And so when I say out of pocket for employee, it's employees or employees plus half of the 1. Yes,
Are these today's prices for next year?
yes.
Okay.
And what Dorinda pointed out to me earlier today was that I have not included an inflation. So these will cover us through the calendar year, but half of that calendar year will be in the next fiscal year. And so if insurance prices go up again next year, like they did this year, these prices will go up. But that's all you can do. I don't know what the prices are gonna be. It's always gonna be that
Why
way.
did they go up this year from our Blue Cross plan? Was it 8% or more?
No, I think it was
I don't
just
know what
about,
the percentage increase was for last year, because I don't know what it was. I know the employees deductible went up by $400.
Thank you for doing all this, Rita.
Yeah.
So this is just all her numbers and I kind of laid it out a little bit different. So this is our current plan. This would be if you stayed with our current plan and increased to what she's saying, we would be covering all of the employee. This would be going to the gold plan and this straight gold plan without changing your HSA contribution. And this would be, with increasing.
Where does it have,
so this is without-
For 2026 is $4,400 for a single person.
But which one is MVP?
It's $4,400 for your.
For a single
I
person.
want to get, I'm
We can
trying to
only
get
give
you
him,
this.
that's the only thing you can put in his HSA with his contribution and the town's contribution is a maximum of 4,400.
Which one is Blue Cross and which one is MVP?
You, the HSA caps out.
So this
Says
one
federal
is
IRS.
Blue Cross.
Cross, and this is, they're all on mine, I didn't do MVP because I didn't have the MVP raise.
Oh, so
So,
why are there four?
cause it's the current plan.
So this is all Blue Cross Blue
Oh,
Shield.
silver,
Silver,
gold.
gold, this is with us paying more.
Gotcha.
Towards the HSA, and I didn't have the MVP.
So this would be, if we kept everything status quo, is either doing the silver, which we currently do,
Right,
or the gold,
right,
and then,
that's increasing the HSAs. So you're saying that,
The single person he can only put in $4,400 with what the town contributes and he chooses to contribute on his own to an HSA plan.
right, but we're not maxed out at that 4,000. Only he is, what he can contribute.
Right, so we can't give him
That's not,
$9,000.
no, the town can give it to him, but he personally can't contribute.
Somebody can contribute to their own plan
Right,
on top of what the town gives.
but
the
that's
max,
maxed out.
the maximum IRS deduction for an HSA single person is $4,400
From the employer,
for
In
everybody
general.
total.
huh?
Yes.
Yes,
Is it?
Yes.
How much is it for a plus one?
9,300, oh wait, 8,750. But if you're over 55, it increases to $9,350.
so why this number looks skewed is because I've taken all the people. So if you do all the math and it's like $9,000, so you're covered here, we're a little over here. So I didn't know about that maximum until today. But the top plan that's affected, so we can't actually contribute quite this much. But it's not affected in the other plans because it's 3,200 here. And I think
That's affected.
that's affected. It's like, what is it,
400.
4,400? So. Yeah.
So
Yes.
this is awesome. This for me is just easier to read.
Yeah.
So I thank you to you both.
Yeah.
I would love to see this with the MVP plan, so I can,
Now you.
Yep, I know,
have all the
right.
Numbers?
I do.
you know,
Yeah,
it's.
I
it's
So,
very
yeah, I
easy to-
mean, just to be open, I think that it makes sense if the employees want it, that we move towards the MVP gold plan. How much of the deductible we change, or, how much we're giving for the HSA. We can determine at a later.
Yeah, well,
Have a
see,
little time to look at that.
the thing is, the MVP gold is gonna cost you $154,000.
Mhm.
So, or let's say here, 128.
Mhm.
So right now, that plan is gonna cost you $13,000 more. But if you're gonna spend 13,000 more, it might be better to put that $13,000 into your deductibles, to your HSA.
I'd rather you had a lower deductible and a better plan.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the numbers are great, and obviously, it's important to consider that, but you say that you're getting better coverage. You guys as a group discussed what better coverage is, and what is that coverage that we're getting for the that we're switching the plan, because I'd like to hear some of the you know, some of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
What are you getting for the money? So
Right, so, the issue, I think primarily is that the out-of-pocket is too much. Cheryl's told stories, about what she had to do when she had her knee replaced and, you know, sent kind of the extreme measures she went. And I know that, you know, Ben talked to me and, you know, Jay talked to me and they've all talked about. So, more important than if I want to get my teeth whitened, is it gonna, you know, is it gonna be cost effective for me to do that? What we're really concerned about is we want to go to the doctor, we want to get our medical procedures taken care of. And we don't want to have to not do, I personally went to the dentist this morning. I did not get my bite wings because we don't have dental coverage. So I went without a needed procedure because I can't afford it. I also am supposed to get an MRI every year. I have MS. I did not get one this year. I will hopefully have better insurance and I'll do it next year.
is that because the insurance company didn't cover it, or is it because?
Because I have to pay $12,000
She
first.
can't afford it. Okay, that's what I'm
can't
trying to
afford it.
understand. Okay, so it's not saying that you can't have it, they just.
I
you
can't afford it.
Okay.
Correct.
Can I step in for a second?
Yeah.
Yes,
What's your name?
Ben, Abear.
then Abear is talking,
So,
Carol.
me and my wife are having a baby during January. Thank you. I didn't realize this part. So the deductible, this year I've already met with $12,000 out of pocket. Soon as January hits, I owe them another 12,000 when she is due.
Yeah.
$24,000 within the 10 months.
Yeah.
Out of pocket. It is just insane.
And so let's moving forward to the MVP. And we go to this plan, we say we decide we gotta go to this plan. How does that, what's that gonna change for you for $12,000?
Well, that's what I was trying to, that's why I came to the meeting. I wanna see the numbers. I wanna see what the best thing we could do. Cause like you said, we get $2,350 a year, okay? So let's take the 2 years, that's only 5,000 out of 24,000. I still gotta come up with $19,000.
Right.
And now I know that people say you can go on plans and stuff, but they made me put a deposit down before she could even reimburse me. That's an insane amount of money.
Wow. Have you looked at the MVP gold plan in terms of what it covers? I mean, usually the gold plan is better than the silver because it's less for an office visit, you get better coverage.
You need to look on the.
Being an employee, what I can say is the best thing we can do is get those premiums down if we can. I mean, because if you think what I make a year, I make 50,000, okay, straight off the board. 24,000 out of 50,000.
Okay.
What are you left with?
They're not even taking.
I don't question those. I just wanna make sure the employees are happy with the new, what they are covering. Other than the cost. That's why I said the numbers are great, but, you know, like Zara just asked, what's, you know, do you get all the different benefits you need to have to take care of yourself? You mentioned that you may not, right now, you don't have, if somebody doesn't cover preventive insurance, to me, that's like the gold standard. All insurance companies should cover preventive.
It's preventive, but preventive means, like, I don't qualify for
No.
preventive care because I'm not 12 and I don't need my booster shots or whatever. Like, the only time I am allowed to go to the doctor is if I'm sick. So,
Well, like an annual mammogram is covered,
Well, yeah.
like that is covered, but if I have a lump in my breast, it's not, and I
An
have.
annual physical, you get an annual physical covered 100%.
Yes, that's preventive.
That's preventive. So there is preventative stuff that is covered, right?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? What do the 6 employees want for plan? This year?
what I want is either of the bottom two.
Okay, anyone else?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, cause the HSA.
Anything that helps me get out of pocket at this point,
Well,
honestly.
Well,
I'm gonna be
for me-
straight with you. I'm just, I'm very.
I mean, for me, MVP is not only less money, but also maybe gonna be around next year.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that of the 4, the MVP gold is the way to go. Yes, yes.
Covers everything.
Right, as long as it
You know, the preventive care, when you say that too, it's like it also annual physicals and mammogram and all that stuff is considered preventative. So I wonder if there would be issues.
No, I think
What
that's a
they-
law. That's a
Yeah.
law.
But what, the age is dependent. What, because the federal government says what age, or I don't know who decides at what age you can get a colonoscopy. But if you want to get one when you're 40 instead of 50, it's not preventative, but if you're 50, you know, I don't know what the age is, but.
So I guess for me, where I'm at is I would more than happily move to the MVP Gold Plan, which is only gonna cost the town $13,200. However, I do wanna have more of a discussion about paying more of your deductible, which is something I do think that we should look at as well. Look at what our HSA is now and what it maybe could be.
Yeah,
Yes,
it doesn't matter if you want, I just wanna leave my input of, I think it's insane that the town, or I think if the town ought to wanna be able to pay families and, you know, have employees who have families. It's insane to expect that $24,000 over 3 years, just never heard of it.
Okay, so what is the timeline for this though, for switching? What's our,
December 1st.
that's the end of our open enrollment?
We have to start getting everything processed and getting the changeover and getting the forms done
Okay.
and all this other stuff. We need to start that process by
Okay,
at least December 1st.
okay.
But we have a little bit more time to discuss.
The HSA.
Yes, HSA. And just to also note, just so everybody knows, and to have this, and Dorinda can explain this a little better probably, but and this happens no matter what because of the timing of this, but we budgeted for a different health insurance plan through June 30th. So we're basically going to have to cover the difference of not just the plan itself, but also any HSAs that we're proposing. And we don't have, remember when I said we have no money in our reserves? Like, we still don't have money in our reserves. And so I think we would be probably looking at borrowing it against a line of credit, because I don't know how else we pay for it. And I'm not against paying for it, but that's a reality of our situation right now is we do not have $400,000 sitting in reserves.
Right,
Unless
but
something-
there's nowhere on here that says 400,000.
No, and I'm just saying, we used to have 400,000 sitting in reserves all the
Okay.
time. For
Okay.
just things that like would come up that we'd be like, oh, we need to, you know, we have some money in our reserves.
Yeah, see, what I do think we have to watch out though is, that if the town of Middlesex is gonna, like, let's just say that you're thinking about down here, the MVP Gold. Look where my deductibles still are. So before you spend this, you gotta really look at this. Cause if you hear what everybody's saying,
Right, but it's better
This
than
is-
46.8.
yeah,
So I agree, we need to
Yes.
look at the HSA, but I think in terms of making a decision on healthcare, we can.
But I want this to be your decision, not ours, because
Right.
I'm not employed by the town.
Can we get a like the breakdown, the summary, like the explanation of benefits for MVP to come?
I have it
Like,
downstairs. I
you
I
know,
probably
you're
have
looking
written
at
on
your
it.
Silver and your gold, so you know what it is, other than just the deductibles.
Yeah.
So you make sure you don't lose coverage in there.
Well, yeah,
going from
coverage.
One to the other.
What that coverage
You wanna look
includes
and
is a
see.
big,
Exactly,
right, it's a big
It's
deal.
not just the
Right, the
deductible.
deductible, yeah.
Yeah, make sure that you're being covered.
So. Do either of you wanna, I mean, Ben spoke up a little bit. Eric, I don't know if you have anything.
No,
I don't wanna speak
I think
for,
we just look at what it actually covers, make sure we're getting covered where we're supposed to.
So we could, I mean, do we need a motion?
Well, I
Or
think
not
these
maybe.
guys now wanna just look at what it covers, but we could make we can make the motion for next time and maybe have a little bit of, you know, this for what it would be for MVP Gold with and without the HSA stuff.
yeah,
That'd be
so,
possible.
one thing,
Explanation of benefit.
Yeah.
I would love to have the information before next meeting to be
Right.
able to review.
Next meeting.
well,
is too
like,
late.
meeting is too late.
Yeah,
Because
we
we
have to
already have
decide
to have
something
decided.
today.
All right, well,
So-
let's go with MVP
I
Gold
mean, it's-
now.
And
that what you
If
guys
you
want?
don't decide this minute, I don't know what the options are. If
Okay.
you can vote on something in 2 weeks, a week from now, can you vote on something by Friday? Like, I don't know.
Well, we can if we have a special meeting.
So I would like to make a motion that that based on what I've heard from our employees, that they'd like to look at switching to the MVP gold, and I am okay with that additional,
I just wanna say though, what is this, so my only concern about that is that we're asking them to change to something where we haven't agreed on any kind of HSA money, and right now that's more, like, if they were to go to MVP gold, it's less for us, well, it's not less for us, but it's
less for them too. Their out of pocket is $12,000 for the silver and only $5,600 for the gold.
That's with an HSA.
That's with funding the HSA.
That's with funding the HSA.
So it sounds like we're at each gold plan, but
So-
depending on if we're gonna lose benefits.
You're
or-
talking here.
I don't know how you can lose benefits from going.
This is,
No, I'm saying from.
this is what the employees would have.
Oh, so it would be actually less, but that's all the
32
employees combined,
All the employees combined is 32.
so it
but
is less still, it is less, yeah,
This well, we.
It's less than
It is less.
60.
yeah, it's less
But,
than
okay, so let's just say 60 and 30, roughly half.
Yeah.
So instead of my deductible being $12,000, it's now $6,000. I still can't afford that.
right, I know.
We understand that, but let's like.
I know, but
Tick it
but
down.
as you're,
Step by step.
I do think it is important to look overall, at,
Cause I mean, I agree with you. I've been to
No, I know you-
already had 100% healthcare for their employees.
yeah.
You know what, but I just wanna say that I don't know that they have that now, but like, this is still. And the out of pocket is expensive, but I think a lot of places don't have, like, people also have to pay out of pocket for the health insurance and also have 12,000, like, that's me, I have a 12,000 and I pay $800 a month.
But
For health.
then the other way to do this is to raise everybody, I mean, another option is to increase my pay. And then I can pay my deductibles and I can do all that myself. The reason I think that maybe isn't the best way is because then I have to pay taxes on all the money and then.
The other thing too, that I think, and I could be wrong about this, and maybe you know this, Matt, is that, so, for example, and I don't know if this, like, my husband's office pays us back after we pay. That's different though, isn't it? That's not an HSA, that's something else.
So the HSA doesn't have to be used as a deductible. So I could use my HSA.
It's an HRA. is what we
Yes,
have.
so an
We have an
HSA you
HRA.
can use for, it depends, but maybe massage therapy
Yeah,
or,
Anything medical.
anything medical, if I needed a walker, if I needed, to go.
right,
So
yes, you
it
have
doesn't
a lot of
have to
options,
be.
right? So the HRA only kicks in when I pay and then I get reimbursed. And so if I don't have any medical expenses, they don't give me money just because I didn't
Right.
spend it.
Right.
Which is the HSA, it's guaranteed no matter what, and
Right.
then you can take it into your old age, which is
And
nice
you do
too.
not get it back. If I don't use it, it does not get refunded back to the
Right,
town.
exactly, so it's like building a savings for your old age too.
It's like equity, so when
Yeah,
you're
it's nice.
65,
It is,
you
it
retire,
is, yeah,
you then can use it
right,
after the fact.
exactly.
It's
You can't
always
really-
yours, no
Yeah.
matter what, it's always yours.
I don't think people can inherit it, or the spouse can, but not the children.
Right, and
So
you can
that is something that is, I think, an HSA is a nice benefit to have over an HRA.
Right,
For
cause
sure.
yes, I think the fact that the town pays our premiums is huge.
Yeah.
And I do factor that in when I look at my pay, I do factor that in. But if, like you're saying, your husband, a lot of places don't pay, their companies don't pay, but they make more per hour than
Yeah.
what we do.
Yes,
So
We need to
we
keep
are,
going, you guys.
yeah, we need
a decision.
well, we need, okay, I can do the motion to, if you guys want MVP gold, I'm happy to make the motion that we switch to MVP gold.
And
But
here's
there's
the other
also
thing,
more-
if you decide against it, I don't think we have to switch, right? So we could make the motion that we are approving the switch to MVBP if the employees decide that's what they wanna do. Let's have that be the motion.
Great, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I think you got some glassy eyes. Do you know what is being proposed?
Yes.
Okay,
Does no one want a
And
second?
this does not affect the HSA,
We're not talking about the
just
HSA
the,
right now.
just the gold. Yes, that's what the employees, I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays?
Paul.
Abstains?
and then
Abstains.
Paul's abstaining.
Okay, and there's more of this.
there's more, but we don't have to go over it. The next slide I threw out there in your packets, you'll be able to see it's dental.
Hmm.
It's $41 a person. It's much more straightforward. The next slide is vision. What I just want to say about the vision is that you can have a plan where just one employee is enrolled and the employee pays for it.
Mhm.
So for somebody who wears glasses or contacts or whatever, you have to go down a little bit, down the other way. Yep, EE. So EE is the employee if I were to pay, and the other is if the employer. So it might be something we want to offer. If an employee wants to pay their own vision insurance, it only costs me $6.74 a month. And then I can get checkups, lenses and frames.
Is that through MVP too, or is that separate things?
I'm not separate.
Who's the dental?
Is that BSB?
Delta.
Delta?
And right now, we have not had dental and vision.
Correct. Correct.
And this is per month.
That big number 46 is per year. Cost per year for one person plus cost of year for two people that are on the 2-person plan. So what it would cost the town for the year was $4,680
For everybody.
for everybody. Yes.
It's about $5,000 extra for dental
Oh,
and
because
vision.
this is, okay, but are we including this baby that's on the way for any of this?
Then none of Ben's children use our coverage.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Okay. So last slide, very important, last slide, let's
Okay.
see it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Most importantly, thank you.
now the dental and the vision is separate, so that's not as quick, as much of a yank to make the decision.
That goes in our budget.
Okay, great.
I don't think we have to plan, we have to choose a plan by December 1st?
There's open enrollment for that, and I don't know if the deadlines are the same, I think they are,
Will you double check?
yes.
Okay.
Change
Thank you.
December 7th.
But then where's that gonna leave us? So do you guys,
I don't know.
if we gotta move on this faster than later,
I don't want to.
because the next meeting is December 3rd.
I can go bring up, I'll look and see if it says on the sheet.
So now we're approving a $4,800 dental. Is that right?
Basically, a $5,000 dental and vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's both dental and vision? for
Yeah,
five?
well, it's 4,600 for the dental and $529 for the vision.
That's it?
That's it.
Vision's really cheap.
So, yeah, I mean, I think
What
that's
is the dental include? Cleaning? Usually they have like.
cleaning
ortho
and an
non-ortho.
X-ray and, yeah.
It depends on the plan. Sometimes they'll cover 80% and sometimes they cover 50% after the cleaning.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The cleanings are usually, they give you to a year usually.
Why is there no difference in price?
Where do you see that?
I'm saying 100% coverage A or 80%
Well,
coverage
that's
B, but there's
Billings and crowns. They'll cover 100% for your.
preventative, but the fillings and crowns is 80. Got it. So I'd make a motion to also include dental and vision.
Okay.
Guys, I'm gonna make a motion to also include dental and vision.
Trustee, you're right.
Not at all.
Okay. So are you amending that motion to include dental and
I'm
vision?
amending my motion to include dental and vision.
Okay. So should we vote on
What's the
that?
total cost of the town with both, the amending it, is it 5,000 and 13,000?
For the year, it would be
For the year.
about $18,200.
Yeah. I will,
As a total cost.
At the total cost,
That's before the HSA people.
but that is, yes, that's not dealing with the
We have
HSA
not
in any
figured out the
way.
HSA.
That's
Right.
over and above current.
Over and above current, we're at
Yeah.
about eight,
Yes.
we're adding up to
Yeah.
about $18,200.
Divided by 6 months.
and I will second that.
That would be cut in half.
If-
Over
Okay.
6 months. it'd be
All
cut.
those in favor?
Aye.
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 So this says effective, the dental is January 1st.
So
So that makes me
move
think
forward.
that it also. Yeah,
Okay, great, so move forward with that. And Paul, you recuse yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
So Carol, we've got 3 yays and then
Okay, so we need to move on. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing that.
mostly.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, Brenda, for pulling all that
Yes,
together.
thank
It's
you
a
very
lot of information.
Yeah.
And this will be handy for, the budget for us to know, like, plugging in numbers for.
Here's the.
For deductibles.
So this is the plan.
Okay, Mitch, you're on with the, what is it called? Recreation Committee. I don't need this.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Did you want to share your screen or anything, Mitch?
No, I think, did you guys get a copy of my budget proposal? I dropped it
Um,
off at the town clerk like a week ago.
Oh, no. Did you hear that, Cheryl?
We dropped off the budget at the town clerk's a week ago. Mitch did.
Right, Brenda has it. The Mitch's little book. Just give me this only copy. Yeah, I didn't print any other ones. I can run down and do that.
We only need like 2 or something. These guys can share one and I
Yeah.
can share one.
I did do the one for, oh my God.
Did you sign it?
Animal control, that was the one. so-
Oh, the animal control, yeah.
Yeah, that's. on the tape.
That's here, yeah. She's just getting, we can quickly just go to animal control while we're waiting for the copies, Mitch. So we said about animal control was that, so she hasn't been taking any salary. That doesn't mean we shouldn't put it in.
So we've been budgeting
How much have we,
26 hours a year.
okay,
It was basically an
Okay.
She didn't wanna take a salary because the money went to the people on the dog on the French Road, and it would cost us a lot more.
right.
For all that stuff that had to happen.
Well, and I said, did you recommend anything for budget, because there seems to be always some little problem for
Well,
dogs.
we have also, we've been putting in like $300 for
Incidental.
expenses. Yes, dog, pound, cat.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have a situation like we did last year with having to put those dogs down. I hope not. That was expensive. Do we know how much that ended up costing?
I know off the top of my head.
Yeah. We should have billed the owner, did we?
Actually,
We had to involve the attorney, remember, there was.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Got another
stuff.
dog.
it was
Yeah.
$700 in last year's budget
Yeah, but it cost
that we
more.
expended.
Yeah, okay.
$5.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, when did this happen? When did that happen?
I don't remember.
It was in the
August?
Yeah.
So that,
Oh,
yeah, it
okay,
was $738 we
okay.
paid.
Well, she's agreed with my 1,200. I don't know if we want to just plug that in.
All right, so $883,
Okay,
yeah. But we've been doing, this year, current year we're in, we have 300 in. And do you want to stick with the 300?
yeah, or do we want more?
I can't, the big printer's out of ink and I tried on the other two and I couldn't get it.
Okay, why don't I just review it to everybody?
So I finally said,
Thank
I'm
you.
tired of waiting.
Has my notes on. it,
Okay, that's
so.
okay. All right, so go ahead, Mitch. It looks like, do you have your thing in front of you that you want to just read aloud to us?
Let's see. The budget, and I may have titled this wrong. I think I called it fiscal year 2026, but it might actually be fiscal year 2027. So apologize if I got that wrong. We bid the mowing this last year, and I've typically put out a bid every other year. So I think the mowing budget's largely the same as this year. A couple of things that are different are that, let's see, under the facility amenities toward the bottom, I think I had the portlets underreported last year. I think we do 2 portlets through most of the summer, and it's about $300 a month, so that comes out to $1,800 for the year. And there is a shed next to the tennis courts that's got a meter on it, which apparently the town has been paying that bill for a long time. And the last 3 or 4 months, I've gotten asked to approve a bill which has been about $75. So I've done that. I incorporate it into my recreation budget, since that seems to be a new item for me now.
Mitch, you've been paying that all along and it's been hitting your budget. It's been hitting your town BOR budget. The electricity and the mowing go under that line item.
Okay, but that electricity cost wasn't in my budget anywhere, so I'm acknowledging that it's a cost that we have to deal with, so I put it in there. And we've also, just out of convenience, to simplify things for you guys, we've rolled the bandstand. They usually request $1,500 in support. We've just added it into the recreation budget so that you don't have a separate item to consider. So
Okay.
that's basically it for
All right,
now.
so I'll just reiterate what he said because it was kind of hard to understand. So there's maintenance for Walter Kelly Park, which is mowing and brush hogging. There's the recreation field, the rec field by Rumney, that's mowing and brush hogging. Is that right? Recreation field by Rumney, is that what it is? Rec field? 3 Mile Bridge Road parcel, there's brush hogging there. And then, is that the buyout property?
Right.
So, one question I
We
have,
usually brush
will,
hog it once a year.
before next summer, will the buyouts,
Yeah.
do we need to budget to maintain those
probably do.
buyouts for the
That was
upcoming?
one of my questions.
Yeah, I think we probably do, and I would say brush hogging would be similar.
I would say.
And I think we wanna do that because there are people's houses next to them, you know, we don't
Mhm.
want it to look like a crappy place.
I think we have to,
It was
We
part
have
of
to
the
maintain
FEMA
it, yeah.
buyout. We had
Yes.
to maintain them.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, Matt?
I have a question, I know the cemetery committee is coming up, but
Yeah.
we have landscaping needs for the cemetery that, you know, have been different, but if we have these parcels of land that have mowing at least.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that we can just have town landscaping covering all of the town properties that we mowing, including cemetery?
Like on a bid or something like that, like
Yeah.
who
Well,
mows,
I might
Mitch,
separate
do you?
these.
Corey Machado.
Corey Machado has gotten the budget, the bidding, the mowing bid for the last several years. He
Okay.
does it.
So you are doing a bid?
Yep.
So,
I feel like the town hall also has landscapers.
Mhm.
yeah, so Mitch, what Matt, who's on the budget committee and also the cemetery committee
Corey does that.
is asking is, does it make
Corey
sense
Mitchell does
potentially? I mean, you'll still come up with a budget,
Yeah.
but like that we would bid out together for all of these
Makes sense
jobs.
to me. Yep.
Okay, so I would say you guys connect, like you and Mitch should connect.
I'll reach out to you next.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's, the town clerk's mowing, that's included in there. And then there's miscellaneous, like the baseball soccer field maintenance, cause Rumney doesn't actually own that, we do.
Right.
Lumber to repair the picnic table at Walter Kelly Park, paint for lining the soccer field, facility amenities, those are the portalets he talked about, and electricity for the rec shed, and then bandstand support. So that comes to 19,430. And as a reminder, again, we're not deciding on that tonight, that's being plugged into the budget.
What is the total
4,030.
and the increase would be, or?
Oh, it's a little different because it's bandstand support is added in there, but do you know what it was last year?
We put in 1,500 last year for that.
Yeah.
But, and it still comes out a little bit, with those numbers plugged in, it actually, because my calculations does wages and taxes and all of that, it's actually $19,783.10.
That was last year, or
No,
that?
that's for
This year.
Oh, that's for this year, yeah.
So
And
it
what was
was-
it last year, do you know?
Last year it was, I don't know why it was so much. I'll have to go back and check that number, but it shows, I gotta go back and check that number. I don't
Okay.
wanna give it to you,
All right.
because I'm not sure.
There might have been something special we did or something.
That's what
Was
I'm
there a
wondering,
gazebo?
because-
Wasn't the gazebo fixed?
Yeah, but that
Well,
was
the-
a special
The
article.
bandstand,
so-
yeah, they asked, because
That was a
gentleman
separate number.
stood up.
Yeah, but that
and
would have been a
asked.
separate line item.
Yeah.
So she would have to take out,
Which
like,
I
that
had
doesn't
to-
include the
Last,
bandstand.
if I may, bandstand last year was decoupled from the rec department, so this is a new
Yeah.
proposal to pull them together.
Yes, and that makes sense, I think it makes sense. It's on the same property.
That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, I mean, it's recreation. Going to the bandstand,
Heck, yeah.
we're going to recreate and go to the bandstand. See discussion of tennis basketball courts on the following page. What did you say about the tennis and the basketball courts? I know that they need desperate help, Mitch.
I've still been working on trying to get a good estimate of what's gonna cost to patch those things up. So I will report back to you on that, because I haven't got good numbers right now.
And we also own those.
We own those, yes, and we've been putting aside money for tennis court rehabilitation. Last year we didn't, I think because of the budget woes we had, I think we took a break from that.
But I think they had like $5,000 already put aside.
Yeah, there was money, but this costs a lot. I wanna say it's like
Oh, it's probably
20,000 or
20s, I
something,
would
yeah.
think.
It's like something where you have to save money for it.
It was also on the baseball field, we had something too.
Okay, thanks, Brenda. Okay, then it says, he's gathering estimates for renovation of the tennis basketball courts, which he's hoping to undertake the summer of 2026. This project will include resurfacing of tennis and basketball courts,
Talking about cutting.
repainting the entire surface, including marking for pickleball courts, replacement of tennis net posts and nets, replacement of basketball posts with adjustable rims. I do not yet have a firm budget for this project, but believe it can be done for somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000. Wasn't there a grant for this recently too, Mitch, or not? I thought there was.
They do put out some grants every now and then.
For
and I've
recreation.
been looking into that, and I'm gonna pursue that. I don't have a.
Yeah. And then he, a couple years ago, received a quote for renovating the baseball field. The quote was in the neighborhood of 12,000. But Mitch, you're not adding those to your budget.
No, those aren't, the baseball court renovation, baseball field renovation is not a firm project yet, and I suspect that what we'll do is raise money for that, should we
Yeah.
decide to pursue it.
And I think the tennis and basketball courts have probably a better chance of getting some sort of grant funding
Yep.
and raising money for that outside of
Yep, I
taxpayer dollars. Because people like to play pickleball. We can charge people.
So,
You can run it.
Yes, I can't wait. I don't know how to, I can't move my arm.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
can't
yeah,
do
you're gonna have
pickleball,
to.
yeah. Okay,
so I have a question now.
yeah.
Last year's budget, we budget for so many hours for wages, and somehow it got in as, that was just a budgeted number, the actual came out. I don't know why that was in so much higher, but, so we're okay.
Okay.
It's,
Okay, so are we done with the budgets? Because I did, one thing that I have under other business, because I'm a little confused now that Sarah doesn't work here, who's responsible for this next subject, which is circle requesting $250 to the long list of donation requests for special articles.
So
Who gets that and how do you
the
know?
way
this?
I've already got a whole folder and
Okay,
everything.
so you're all
Excel
set with
spreadsheet.
that, all
Yeah,
right.
because it's part of the town report and the town
Yes.
meeting is to do that, so I've actually been prompting people to try to get it in with their mission statements as soon as possible.
Okay, perfect,
Wait,
because I
when
just
are those
didn't know
due?
what, that's why I put it on.
January 1st or 6th is when the special articles, when people have to have them in.
No, but when do you need the write-ups for the town?
That I don't know yet, we're
for
just
the-
now working on it, but people, I've heard
Soon,
they
I
don't,
mean,
yeah.
it's similar
Yeah.
timeframe.
Yeah,
So like
it
if you
is.
have something like the road committee, you
Yeah,
should start working
right.
on that now.
And
The
actually,
budget
and I've
committee
been,
and the cemetery commission?
Yeah,
I've been.
you
sending
basically do a
them
little
stuff out.
paragraph about what's been happening.
Yeah, okay, it's on the.
Yes,
I just want to ask, because I'm going to step out.
just state your name again, sorry.
Paul Bofa with the bandstand.
Okay, Paul Bofa with the bandstand, Carol.
I just wanted to clarify that 19,000 plus gets no action tonight, but that's a budget committee
Yes.
decision, that's.
Well, it's our decision, so what happens after so all of these people, including the road people will come in and the fire department will come in, they'll present us with budgets, we'll hear it, it'll get plugged into her spreadsheet, and then starting in December and January, well, starting in December basically, after everyone has presented, we sit here for an hour and look at the budget and say, where can we cut? Or look at, this is a 10% over last year, where do we figure that out? So then finally, at a certain time, and that date is dependent on the town report and statute too, because of the town meeting day, we have to make a final decision on what the budget is, that we
So-
present to the.
So just a rough notion, maybe a couple months before those determinations are made.
Yes, I mean, I would say by mid-January, we know.
Mid-January, okay.
Yeah, if not early, like, I mean, we spend a couple of meetings, like maybe 3 meetings in December and January going over everything, because people have presented their budgets to us.
You're just talking the $1,500.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I guess my last question is there more presentation or representation of the bandstand for that budgetary?
You don't
request?
need to, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
But-
you're all set.
And I think that what's happened in the past, when it was 1,500, it was a special article. Now that it's being put into a budget, it becomes a line item, right?
Oh, was it a special article?
The
It was a
bandstand
special
used to be,
article, yes,
so,
previously.
so
Yes.
it's
So I'm looking at-
safer,
Thank you.
yes, so
I'm
it's
looking for that
safer for
status
you.
change.
It just means that they will have your budget from
Yeah.
us
Right.
Through the
versus having to go
You
through.
still, every year, though, have to tell us what you wanna put in it.
Mhm.
It's not
If
like
you wanna-
it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's not like you automatically just get it in there. You have to
Understood.
say, this is how much
Understood.
we want.
Right.
The only thing that you know, is a benefit for a special article or a potential downfall is, one, people could vote it down, which is unlikely. But better yet, someone could say, you know what, I think the bandstand needs more money, and they would decide that at town meeting, right? But that is, so that's really the difference. Okay, so no,
Good
you don't
work.
have to do anything more now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just
Thanks for all your
quickly, yeah, thank you,
you.
Paul. Just quickly, we are starting to have demolitions of these FEMA homes. Seeding won't start until the spring, but the homes are starting to be demolished all winter long. Kevin Thompson has graciously said he will kind of like communicate with the neighbors, so that they know that the demolition is gonna take place. And then, I don't think we need to do a front porch forum post. I don't wanna draw attention to it, but Kevin will, just alert the neighbors that, you know, there's gonna be a demolition happening. And Cheryl saved the shed, so we can pick the shed up in the spring, for the road crew to have that shed available to them on one of the buyout houses. And I think we really only have one more. I think most of our buyouts have been done, except we've got one more, that's coming along. They're just getting the rest of some of their paperwork together. And then we should just be waiting for demos. Yeah, so that's the buyout closing update from me. And then the town hall weatherization, that's all done, thanks to Randy Drury, who volunteered his time last weekend, I think it was it last weekend?
Weekend.
Last weekend or the week before?
Weekend.
Yeah.
Weekend before.
And so they spent the morning blowing cellulose in upstairs, using his equipment, and volunteers, and it really was a nice overall, very volunteer-led event that saved us some money and hopefully makes us warmer in here. So we'll see. And I think the blower door test was.
Do you feel like it is up here? I feel like it's warm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sweating, but Liz is cold, so
Yeah.
we're right on par.
Okay, perfect. So there we go, and we're hoping Stacy is back in December, so she can rejoin our board meetings. Carol, did you have any questions or anything before we go? And how's Florida? Just tell us how Florida is.
You know, you don't even want to hear it.
Okay. You're in a t-shirt, that's all that matters.
Warm and probably still light
It's
outside.
beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Liz, before we go, do
Yeah.
you want me to plug a number in now for the lawn care and all of that for those buyout properties?
Yes, I would say if it was 175 for one,
Multiply it.
I would multiply it by, well, let's see, on that road, there's total of 9 buyouts. One is not ours, really, so that makes it 8 buyouts, and one of them is, so there's the Hallahan house that's next to Ridge Road, that may not need mowing. I don't know, that's just wild, I don't think we should, that's right by the river, we probably shouldn't mow that, no.
Didn't you, I mean,
Weren't you
didn't
guys
that
gonna
road
shut
get
that
like
road off?
thrown up or something?
I think we should.
On Rich Road?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should throw that.
We should throw it up, but if not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've seen, I don't know, are the trucks that were there?
I would budget an extra 5,
An extra
175s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 times 5 is 1,000, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, yeah, minus 75 times 5, 25 times 5. Minus 125.
Got it.
So, did you get that?
Yeah, I got
Yes,
it.
she did get it, she's a treasurer, she knows, assistant treasurer.
So
That-
that's,
Were we gonna
so
do
that's
something in the
5,000
cemetery
for buyout?
meeting today? I didn't know, I thought someone said we might do
A
something.
budget, do you wanna do your budget?
So, yeah, I took over his chair just.
Oh, so you have a budget?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, there's not much to the budget, so previously last year it was 6,500 for car and village. Something else separately pays for North Branch, I think, we have
Yes.
4,500, right, but, I don't know how that works, whether or not it goes to select board or not.
and Edward Jones Fund, yes.
So in any event, I think we had issues with the contractor this year. I expect that, for cushion, let's say, we're estimating maybe another $2,000. So that would bring it to 13,500. Sorry, yeah, 13,500. That's just an estimate. I'll get a more detailed one. When do I need to have the final budget
I
presented to you?
think, honestly, you should talk to Mitch, because if you're gonna do
Right.
the mowing thing altogether, and the mowing contract was 6,000.
Right, that's the majority of the.
Plus then the 2,000 for
But
clearing.
that's just for the bidding, because they're their own separate thing. They're a
Right.
commission, cemetery commission, so they need to have their own mowing budget.
Did you say there were issues with the contractor this year?
Yes.
What were the issues?
So there was work that wasn't done, there was work he told us was done, we went and checked multiple times, it wasn't done. And then there were complaints about the quality of the work that was done from mowing.
And that was a new person, right?
I honestly.
I thought the mowing was actually fine. I biked by
It was,
multiple
but
times.
it was his job to lose, and he did a spectacular job of it.
On that front, the grass was mowed, multiple townspeople complained about grass filings being left on paved gravestones.
Yep.
And, ahead of holiday, I had someone complain to me saying that they went and cleaned it off, it was mowed, and then it was a mess when they came back.
Right.
Multiple people complained about this. One thing, if that was the only issue, there were a host of other issues, so
Yeah.
we had issues.
Yeah, trust me.
Is that really what a mower does, though? He has to sweep the graves afterwards?
He can blow it.
This wasn't just a
Blow it away.
standard contract we had, and that's one of the things I'll discuss with Mitch, like, this was specifically for maintaining the cemetery and keeping it in an appropriate, presentable state. And he said multiple times to people before I joined that he was going to clean it up, it wasn't happening. So we just had communications issues and consistency issues across the board.
He needs something new.
No, I don't, I'm just saying he needs a budget, he needs a separate budget.
13,000, so you said 13,000.
But does that include the Edward Jones?
It It does, yes.
So what is it for just, because we don't, do we include the Edward
We don't.
Jones in our budget?
No.
No, so it has to be
That was my
with,
question, sorry, that was my
yes,
question. That was
so
my question.
not with the
We
Edward
don't care
Jones.
about what happens at
Yes,
French.
yes.
So then it'll, let's increase the 6,500 that was spent on Farm Village to 8,500.
8,500 is going to be the cemetery commission budget. Okay, for mowing and maintenance.
That includes mowing, maintenance, their tear down, there's probably some
Okay.
extra work that needs to be done, but that'll be the.
Did you get that, Carol? $8,500 for the budget for the cemetery commission for mowing and maintenance.
I have a question. That to like 2,000 is what, 25% of 8,000?
Correct.
So 25% seems like a lot.
Yep, so in addition to having to go out to bid, this bid that we did get, I think the town did take last year was significantly on the lower side. So I just have some assumptions that that's going to increase. But in addition to this previously budgeted amount that I mentioned, the 6,500, we also this year paid 2,000 for cleanup at Village. That didn't happen, or maybe has happened the day before it snowed. I'll need to go and take a look and check to see what state it's in. But I'm expecting that not only will we need that at Village, we'll also need it at Carr, because Carr's in a similar state. And so I'm building it, the ability to start doing some of this work.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Are there any other matters that come before the board? 7 o'clock. Hearing none, we're adjourning at 7:10.